Determination to conquer all my ambitions, despite all the conditions. In light of my past decisions, made it to this position, and so my disposition, not seeing no limits, killing the competition. Yeah, I'm a beast, now I'm released, ready to feast, calm and peace, not the least.
What's going on, people? It is Saturday night and Next Podcast is live. I could not wait to start the show. I have a story to tell when it comes to a certain game called Sea of Thieves. We got a bunch of topics, some groundbreaking, earth-shattering gaming news that just dropped. But first, we gotta go through the intros. First off, I want to say what's up to everybody in the chat, both over here on YouTube, my home base, and of course over here on Mixer. Ace Junkie is hosting us. Thank you, my brother. Now, we got to go into the intro. So first, I'd like to introduce one of the newest people into the circle of royalty when it comes to the gaming community. Of course, he is the king of hangout botting. I am talking about Dark Artemis!
Hey, what's up, everyone? Glad to be here tonight. You know, I'm ready to get into these topics, ready to talk some shit with K Mega over there. And I also have an announcement for Quest. We have a new member on Quest now. We have Sir Monkey Punch. He's joining us. He'll be joining us for the time being. So,
wow.
Happy to have him on.
So you haven't announced this anywhere else? This is kind of like a first right here on Next Podcast?
This is the first, man.
Yo,
yeah.
I gotta say, huge shout out to Monkey Punch. That is a great addition to the show. I just want to let you know, Dark, he is addicted to PUBG, though. Like, he borderline, he has a problem like playing that game. Throwing it out there, man.
Hey, you know, as long as he's there every Thursday, that's all I care about.
Man, why did you announce that with only 19 people watching? You should have waited until a little later.
Man, you know what? Well, if Bot didn't introduce me first, then I would have, waited a little bit. But no, he's got to introduce me first.
Hold on. My lights are flickering, so that means we need to move on. It is time for everybody in both chats to stand up, show that respect, kiss that ring, the Don.
Hey, what's up, guys? I had no idea I won the gameplay, so thanks for all the votes.
Like, do you like the diamonds? Oh, really?
Just so you know, that's how K-Mega farts.
Yo, K-Mega, you're supposed to say safety after that, man. Oh, this is gonna be one hell of a night. I can see it already. Yo, Don, how do you like the diamonds falling? The kind of like the look for the gameplay winner. Are you feeling like is that head swelling up when it comes to winning this gameplay right now?
What is it? The Lucian Sky with diamonds? Is that what's going on there?
Oh goodness! only you can reference that, and nobody in the chat will bat an eye right there. Like
they're like, it's all good. Just let him do his thing. But no, I'm excited. I'm excited that I got the votes. I wanted to earn it the right way, not beg for it like everybody else was, and I finally got it the way I wanted to.
Yo, hold on. I gotta introduce the next person just because of that little shot right there. See, I know I have the best gameplay, week after week. But let me introduce this gamer coming live from the 405, and he's just trying to talk to those intelligent gamers out there. My brother, K Mega.
Is he peeing?
Do y'all hear that? That's me pouring victory juice.
Victory juice.
K Mega is back with gameplay, and of course, victory is mine. I'm gonna be giving a cameo. I'm only gonna show like 2 games, right? This is how confident I am, ladies and gentlemen, because when you see the greatness that I've presented to the gamers with all these cameos, there's no question. I don't care what Bot, what Don, what Otter has brought to the table. The only person that I even have a smidgen of caring about when they bring gameplay is Predator, and he's not here. So anyway, look, I'm glad to be here as always. The king of gameplay has arrived, and Bot is all of a sudden felt bad, and I guess wanted to bring out my gameplay. So let's go ahead and just have a good one, man.
But I didn't even bring out the best set. So like I let you choose between last week's gameplay, which unfortunately, my bad, wasn't shown on the show, and then the gameplay that you brought for this week, and I asked you which one. Now, if you went with last week's gameplay, I would have voted for you, but like after seeing your gameplay now, I feel like mine's better, man. And I only have one game, but there is such an epic. There's actually 2 epic moments in my gameplay that I feel everybody's gonna vote for, man.
So wait, you only have one game, and you gave me so much shit about that Halo gameplay that I did.
But it's quality, though. It's not just. It's
cold blood.
Man, I got a serious question: how does K Mega pour juice out of a juice box?
It's that funkified juice,
you put
baby.
the straw in and you squeeze the box.
You know he uses 2 hands to drink out of that thing.
It's that winning juice. So anyway, listen. Also, I want to give a big shout out to my boy Jazzy Noop for being our first Patreon guy for the GRG. You know what I'm saying, man? Very appreciative of your support, man. You have been a part of the GRG family since the get. And we kicked off our Patreon last night. So if anybody's interested, wanting to come on down and help support, come on down. The Patreon is up and ready to roll. But yeah, thank you, Jazzy Newt, man. It's very means a lot to me. Means a lot to all of us. And of course, we know that you're a sponsor here with how do you say that dude's name? Vogelmeister? What is it?
Vogel's Creek. We just call him Vogel.
Oh, Vogel. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Vogel too. So anyway, but yeah, man, it's I'm glad to be here, man. Let's just go ahead and do it. And
congratulations to you and of course, you know, the rest of the GRG fam. Me and O Snaps were actually talking about the Patreon for GRG today, and like, dude, I see nothing but good things for the whole crew. You know what I'm saying? With getting that done, getting your first Patreon supporter. Sky's the limit, guys. If you haven't checked out GRG every Friday, it is an awesome show. Yo, you never know. After
Crossfire.
You never know what to expect, man. Yo, K Mega lets everybody and their grandma onto the show.
What? I keep it organized though. You don't just go crazy and chaotic.
But yeah,
it's like a gaming potluck. It's the only way I can describe it.
that is a great way to describe it, man.
Well, when you got Donald Trump on there, you know.
That's right. And big shout out to Livewire, man. He celebrated a 6-pound, 12-ounce baby girl, his first child, man. I mean, I'm very happy for him, man.
Congratulations, man. Your life is changing right now, man.
It's over. It's over, Jack. It's over.
Wait, but the real question, did you just like find out yesterday, or did you know this was coming?
Well, knowing live, I think it just happened just the other day, and he was just like, "Oh shit, I have a baby." But you know, but no, he's a married man. You know what I'm saying? If people really know who Livewire is as an individual, what he does for his professional life, you would have no idea.
He's a nuclear physicist, am I right?
Close. But you know what I'm saying? It's wild, man. I think the reason why he's our Donald Trump is because he just want to let it all out. But
to be honest with you, though, like his like real life, like he does real good shit for people. Like you know, people want to give that guy a hard time, but like in real life, that guy is a genuine like golden heart for sure.
Yeah, man. If I can, just one more dry hump for the GRG crew right here. And this is something K Mega doesn't know, but I was talking to one of the fam yesterday. I got to give a huge shout out to my boy Bloody Nux out there, man. Stay positive. Don't listen to all that drama. People saying you're little Xbot now and all that good stuff, man. Go with it, man. Go with it, yo.
You got a mini-me?
No, I called him. Yeah, he was talking real. He was talking real wild. And I said, "Man, hush." I said, "Shut up, little Xbox."
Yeah. well, he is.
He's a good dude, man.
Yeah, he's real cool guy. And as soon as like we figure out, because he does the Smash podcast on Saturdays after this show, we are going to have him on as a special guest as well. So that's going to be fun right there.
Yeah, he's a real smart kid, man. He's real smart.
Oh hell yeah! Just talking to him a little bit, the few times that I did talk to him, man, it's a lot of fun. Very entertaining in terms of talking about games and stuff like that. Yeah. With that being said, give a huge shout out to Predator, which I hope he doesn't go like what is it, that new Twilight? He's up in a plane right now, man. So I hope everything is just gonna work out fine. But that's where he is right now. Shout out to O Snaps, who is in she's actually in both chats. She's in Mixer and she's in YouTube. So huge shout out to O Snaps, and of course, as always, Fuskies, Newark NJ, and the rest of the Next Podcast family. We have to get into some late breaking news, guys.
More news. Let's go.
There is an article talking about Fortnite Mushroom Kingdom Battle Royale. I did put it in the DM. I gotta ask you guys, what you think about this. Mega, did you see this thing?
Yeah, I did see this.
And what do you think? Is this something you're interested in, man?
I care not about Fortnite, even if they have Princess Toadstool farting along with the game. It doesn't excite me whatsoever. So
hold on, dude. Just to let you know, in both like travel mode and when you hook it up to the TV, it's going to be 4K, 120 frames per second, man.
I mean, I know it's going to be a dope game, but I mean, dope for just X fans. But regardless, it's just not for me. I'd rather just play a regular Mario game, not Mario shooting weapons. For me, I feel like it takes it too far. You gotta hold Mario back, man. He's for the kids. He's for the kids.
Too far is not is probably the bullseye right here. Hold on, we're gonna go to the Don. Yo, Don, with this game, they are talking about complete use of the Joy-Con controllers in terms of movement, to the point where they wanted to keep it fair. So if you ever use the Switch Pro controller, it will instantly combust. What do you think, man?
I don't even know what I'm supposed to do here. Are we supposed to go with the joke? Or?
All right. The Don killed it. April
Fools,
people.
Man, you could do better than that if we're going to go April Fools.
Yeah, I was going through the details, man.
I was going with it, trying to.
I was hoping I was going to get to chime in, but then Don ruined it.
Don killed it. Don ruined it for everybody.
Man, why are we doing this? Come on. I mean, that's like putting salt on someone's toothbrush on April.
Well, cool. Fools! I gotta give a huge shout out. I gotta see who made this. Who was this? Press start. Yo, I gotta say, I absolutely love that article. It was in the DM. I looked at it and I was like, yo, this is great. We gotta run with this right off the bat. Guys, what do you think about doing this type of stuff for April Fools? Did you guys like read through the article before realizing when they got to like the specs and stuff? What do you think? Was this funny?
No.
No.
it was just kind of like, okay, yeah, I kind of figured it was a April Fool's joke just because of the fact that it doesn't make any sense, man. Like, why would you even do that? Like, I can't see Fortnite ever doing something like that. Honestly, taking a Mario property and turning it into a shooter. Like, I wouldn't even think that Nintendo would even do it.
I don't.
I mean, they did it with Kingdom Battle a little bit, but it's more like an RTS, you know.
Well, check this out. With this whole Battle Royale, this huge kind of like fluff where the developers are trying to add modes to future games. You see the success of PUBG. You see the success of Fortnite. Yo, Mega, is it really that far-fetched? And would you really wouldn't like to see something like that come from Nintendo, man?
Yeah. Yes, it's very far-fetched. You're gonna make me play all types of tunes.
Man, is he abducted by aliens?
Oh, yeah, well, pretty much.
Wait,
he's playing dubstep in the background. Is what's going on?
It was probably one of Zaire's aliens to me. Anyway, so no, I saw it at the last minute because when I was was going in to hit the Google's Hangout, and I was like, what? I said, what is this? And so I click on it and I started reading right when, like, and you know how I come in pretty much right when the show is about to start. And I'm like, damn, I ain't got enough time to read this. What's going on? And you come out and you said what you said, like, hey man, you want this to be an April Fool's joke? And I was like, oh, thank God, because I'm like, this would be really huge to see Nintendo and PlayStation actually, you know what I'm saying, and Xbox all coincide to work together to put this game. I'm like, this would now really would put PUBG in a bad spot. You know what I'm saying? But once I found out that it wasn't real, I just was like, oh, well, you know, that I didn't know it wouldn't happen because just for, you know.
All right. Well, hold on.
Yeah, crossplay. You know how crossplay is not Sony's cup of tea. So
mine is crossplay, and we're gonna actually get into crossplay in a little bit because our boy Tim Sweeney over at Epic was talking some things. But when it comes to Battle Royale, am I the only one on the panel that can see kind of like a Nintendo Mushroom Kingdom where you got, you know, all the characters from Mario and like Zelda and other, you know, exclusive Nintendo franchises coming together for a Battle Royale? No, am I the only one that can see like that? That would be awesome, man.
I don't see Epic doing it, to be honest with you. I see Nintendo doing it in house because that's just kind of how they are.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
You know, it's up their alley. I mean, you know, I remember when Super Smash Brothers, you know, came out, and I was trying to explain to me, yeah, they took all the Nintendo characters and they put it in a fighter. And it was one of the years I went to E3, and I come back and it was telling people about it. And the magazine articles are not out yet, and they're like, no, you're full of shit and all that sort of stuff, and then it happens, right? So like these sort of things are up Nintendo's alley, but there's no way Epic.
I thought it was freaking cool. First off, the article being April Fool's, and guys, I know it's a day before April 1st, but guess what, guys? Next podcast, we don't go live on Sundays, so if we had to do it, we had to do it now. And shout out to O Snaps who actually put it in the DM, and I was like, man, we got to run with this, but I don't know. If you guys don't have anything more to say on that, let's get into some real topics. How's that sound?
Yeah,
that sounds great.
All right, and since we're looking at the game-winning gameplay right now on the screen, let's talk about Sea of Thieves. And it came out this week that when it comes to Sea of Thieves, 2 million active users in the first week. All right. I think Aaron Greenberg came out and said this is the fastest selling new IP from Xbox this generation. I see people run with this and trying to state like different things. Like this is the fastest growing IP of all time with Xbox and stuff like that. But I want to hear what you guys think about the launch of this game, and then we'll go into, you know, kind of how people are getting carried away with some of this information. So let's hit up Dark. Dark, what do you think? 2 million active users, all right, in the first week. Is this something you expected from this game, and do you see it continuing, man?
Honestly, I didn't really know what to expect from this game because, I mean, it was just kind of like, you know, it was kind of up in the air on whoever, you know, really kind of wanted to play it. But 2 million is fantastic, man. I mean, that's good for Microsoft. That's good for Rare, you know, over there, and you know, congratulations to them. But you know, I think they need more content. for me, it's just, you know, they need more content.
You're still
I
beating
just think
that drum, man. You're still.
But honestly, I mean, like, I would, if somebody hit me up and said, hey, you want to go into some Sea of Thieves and play, I'd be like, yeah, let's play. You know, it's just, you know, one of those games I think that you can just easily hop in with a crew of people and just have a blast with and just do stupid crap as a pirate, you know.
So, you keep talking like that. The Kraken is going to show up on the West Coast the way it shows up in my gameplay, and it's gonna eat you, man.
Oh, you mean when you try to go into the sea and try to see the Kraken, it just turns black?
Oh goodness, moving on. Yo, I will say when it comes to the hype before the release of this game, all right, and these numbers do not include Game Pass, by the way. I think that is the most interesting thing to me. I think that is kind of like the badge of honor right there, because I automatically thought like there was going to be a lot of people on this game at launch. But Don, what do you think? Has Rare captured something with this game? 2 million within the first week. Do you think it's going to continue, dude?
I think it's going to continue. I think there's people going to bail out, and more people are going to jump aboard, right? So the thing is, the point of entry is relatively easy for people to just try out the game. So, it's one of those things that it can also show that Game Pass possibly helps sales instead of the other way around, like people thought in regards to that. So, because what you got is you got people that try out the game, that actually like it, and they're sharing their experiences. And so other people may say, well, screw the Game Pass thing, I'll just pick it up. And so, I think it's working out for them. I think it's a good start where they're at, and, it's up to Rare to kind of keep it up.
Dude, with all this, like I said, this is minus the Game Pass numbers. I am really intrigued to see if they put everything together. Don, like how many actual people, because, they were having server issues, all sorts of good stuff within the first week. Dude, do you think, like, just hypothetically, do you think it was like maybe double that when it comes to Game Pass, man? 4 million possibly?
Playing? Yeah. That one doesn't, I don't have any doubt on that one, just because, you're asking 2 million people on Game Pass to just try out the game. That's not an unrealistic number considering how many Xboxes are out there, and the fact that they're obviously dedicated to getting Game Pass out there as well. So
I have been in the Kraken's mouth, by the way. Anybody watching the gameplay right now?
Yeah, I'm watching that. That's wild. I haven't yet seen the Kraken yet, but yeah, that's crazy.
Yo, dude, I know people are screaming, but it's all tentacles. There's nothing underneath the water. Guys, the Kraken is going to evolve with each content drop, the big content drops that drops like every 3 months or so, and it's going to attack differently every time. So what you're seeing now, when they drop that huge amount of content, it's going to be different after that. So that's a good way to keep it fresh, in my opinion. But Mega, what do you think, man? 2 million active users. We're not talking Game Pass. Is this something you expected from this new IP, man?
Well, it's like I've been saying for once I was hearing about this game, even when I wasn't interested in the game per se at first, was that this game was going to be a streaming sensation. And of course, if a game hits streamers, then the gamers are going to follow suit. It's because it's just what it is in this type of climate in gaming right now.
So would you say Guerrilla Marketing worked in Sea of Thieves' favor? Because that's what it is.
Yeah, no doubt. This was one of these things where, like, the marketing, the not advertising this game fully like we've been expecting by like people showing commercials on television and things like that. They've been trying to do it this way with other games and hasn't really resonated well with Microsoft. But with this game, it hit on all cylinders because it was the perfect game for streamers. You see what I'm saying? So again, like now, when people are talking about the 2 million users and stuff, these are some really interesting numbers that I wanted to bring up that I was looking over because people are, they keep bringing up, well, this was the fastest selling new IP that Xbox has ever had, right?
No,
so
this generation.
Well, I mean, it's Xbox One, right? So a lot of people that are not fans of Sea of Thieves, they keep bringing up Quantum Break. Quantum Break was what, 3 years old? So like, okay, so with Quantum Break on Steam, if you go and look at Steam Spy, it's 658,290. Okay, so and so then when you look at what the sales were on the Xbox,
so that point that out, it's also later release outside of the Play Anywhere release.
Yeah, this is not
much later.
This is not a play. Yeah, this is not a Play Anywhere game. Play Anywhere came much later, and so this was just on Steam alone. Of course, we haven't heard really a lot of numbers from Microsoft because they just not trying to get into that game. But also, from what you kind of get of indication is that it's got around 740,000 off the Xbox One. Then if you look off of the Windows Store and third-party digital sales, it's 300,000. So if you calculate all of those numbers up, it is anywhere from 1.5 to close to maybe 2 million. Now, these are, you know what I'm saying, the Steam numbers is the only thing that I can actually go off of as saying that those are actual numbers, because VG Charts is the only ones that give out. VG Charts brings out the 740,000, right? So we know how VG Charts is. But with the Windows third-party digital sales, that's 300,000 plus. So if you look at that just alone, we're talking about anywhere from 1 million to close to 2 million sales. And Sea of Thieves had, like you guys were talking about, well over probably 4 million players. So I'm looking at it as a sense of there was quite a few people that bought this game. And if you remember, there was an article on GameSpot, and people can go look that up. For Quantum Break, there I don't know who it exactly was that said, I don't know if it was like Aaron Greenberg or if it was just somebody from Remedy, but they were saying that the game sold higher than expectations.
Yeah.
If you remember that. And so, but they never released any numbers. And so, fanboys just went crazy and just said, they just selling wolf tickets. But if, a lot of people know, and Don can probably vouch for this. If you are a developer, or if you have anybody that's in the industry deep like that, you can't just be floating lies like that and get caught by it and then think that it's going to go smoothly for you in the future dealing with other partners and things like that. So obviously Quantum Break did probably better than what a lot of people thought. And what Sea of Thieves has done is did even better than that. So that is a testament to what Exodus.
Well, I think it's important to keep in mind that we're only talking about week one. That's the conversation, right? People want to think like lifetime sales and all that sort of stuff, and it's hard to really find that stuff. But we're talking about week one, how successful it is, and it's successful. I mean, 2 million in the first week of actual copies sold.
Well, P-Ro in chat said that I'm actually wrong with this. The 2 million does include Game Pass. I could swear they said the 2 million.
Aaron Greenberg 100% confirmed it did not include Game Pass.
You can't include that. That's just like if Netflix or any other company that does the same type of thing with, like, because that's what Game Pass is basically.
No, actually, no, correction. So when he said no, I want to say it was fastest selling IP, and I think he's listed how many players are playing or something like that. So that he may be somewhat right that it wasn't 2 million. I'm not sure exactly which one's which. So I don't want to misquote Aaron on that one, but regardless, they consider it a success.
Yeah.
Right.
And in a lot of the numbers they are talking, there's some context they said that was not including Game Pass, and I want to know what that exact number was before I misquote them. But they consider it success. It's simple as that. If you don't like the game, it doesn't matter. I mean, there's plenty of games I dislike as a gamer,
right,
that are successful. Like, and I don't wish them bad. I don't wish them like hate or anything like that, or if it didn't meet my expectations, it just is what it is, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, the game found an audience. It found the audience that actually likes it, and there's people that don't like it. But it's still finding its audience. It's still staying relevant. People are still watching it. We'll see how long it goes. And it's really up to Rare to continue to add content that keeps it relevant for people.
Shout out to Spoonman in the chat. This is something that I wanted to talk about as well with you guys, because Spoonman was like, it was 2 million copies sold, I believe. And no, Spoonman, it was 2 million active users. If you remember, Xbox, they don't talk about actual like sales and stuff like that, and they deal with active users. Now, with that being said, like 1 million people could have bought it and just had another person in the house playing it or whatnot. But even if that were the case, by some odd rhyme or reason, that's still 1 million in its first week, which is really awesome in my opinion for a brand new IP, something that people didn't know what the finished game or what the release product was going to be. And that's why I want to ask you guys, what do you think about, man, there has been people out there on social media, and they, even though it is positive news, it is something that shows the success of this game, and it possibly shows that, you know, they are going to continue to add the content to it. They're not going to give up on this game because of what happened within its first week moving forward. What do you guys think about, like, these fanboys, some of the things they've been saying? Well, it's 2 million copies here, and I'm not saying Spoonman, I'm not saying you're a fanboy at all, trust me. I'm just saying that there are people out there on social media that are twisting these words around to try to make it sound even more positive, man. I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. Yo, Mega, what do you think about that, dude?
Well, to quote something that what Spoonman is saying, he's right. There were some articles that said that there were some sold. And then there was some people that detracted that. But look, this is the thing. Until Microsoft give out actual numbers saying of how many have been sold, then everybody's just going to be in limbo, because there were some articles there. Because when I seen them, like in places in Bang Bang and then on Twitter and other places, and then of course the haters of the game just went nuts and said, no, it's what they said is so viewers, and that's it. Nobody didn't buy the game. Game Pass. I mean, not viewers, but players. But they all Game Passes. But if you were smart enough to know what was going on, that Game Pass was not related. That was even stated by Greenberg himself.
Well, let me clarify. This is exactly what he said. Thanks for helping out with Sea of Thieves, a record-setting launch. Our most successful new IP this generation, over 2 million players first week, 500K XBLA made, and then that's basically what he said.
Right.
And then on top of that, it is the #1 selling game in Australia.
Okay. Yeah. I was just going to say that point.
Yeah. So, you know, and it's very high.
It's the #1 in Europe too. I mean,
it's doing really good in Europe. Yeah. So
yes, it did. So. Oh, and by the way, most important thing that nobody right now, the most important thing, my gameplay is up. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
You must have saw Sonic, man. Like he doesn't even like Sea of Thieves. He ain't gonna vote for me, dude. But he doesn't
this
know.
This is the beginning, Sonic. Get ready.
Oh no.
Cameos is coming. Anyway, so no, I forgot what the question was now, because I was so high.
That's because you were boasting about your stupid gameplay.
Yeah.
I know, man. Promotion.
But basically,
promoting
like
for
the fanboys out there,
trophy.
Fanboys out there on social media, like, really trying to twist it to make it sound even more positive, man. I feel like they're doing more harm than anything, and they need to just kind of quiet down. Just be happy with the information that's coming out. What do you think, Mega?
Oh no, it's this. You know what's been going on this generation. Like I listen to, like I've told you guys before, I listen to a little bit of all different types of podcasts, and the thing of it is that even that more PlayStation podcasts talks more about Xbox than they do about PlayStation. So it's more of the thing to me is like, why? Like if there's I'm like, look, you know, if there are certain games that I'm not into. Doesn't matter if it's on Xbox, PlayStation, PC, whatever, Nintendo, whatever. But I'm not going to just keep touting about it and just trying to make people think that this game is not good for you. I'll give you my opinion on a certain game because especially like I've stated about God of War, but I'm not mad at anybody that wants that game, and I hope the game sells well. I'm just saying from my personal view. So why is it that you guys that have a big problem with Sea of Thieves can't do the same? I mean, there's other games out there. Like, why you guys ain't throwing out a lot of gameplay and a lot of support for Nudie Cooney, because those sales aren't looking very good from what they're talking about. And you guys like to do sales numbers, but
let's I mean, that's absolutely irrelevant. Like, to be honest,
it's irrelevant. That's the whole.
That's what I'm saying. Like, don't give them any weight. They're not worth your time, K-Mega. I mean, no. to be frank with you, but you know, here's some other interesting numbers I'm just going to throw out there. Over more than 100,000 players streamed Sea of Thieves, resulting over 10 million hours watched last week alone.
Woo! Wow! Holy crap.
Those are crazy numbers. So what you're seeing in gaming is you're seeing people being entertained for longer periods of time than actually what people are watching television shows, what I've been told, and stuff like that. So I don't, it could be anywhere. People wait 5 minutes to watch their favorite streamer for hours, right? So, that's kind of how that stuff kind of fluctuates. The other interesting thing is it said, what is it? It said over 1 million players on launch day alone. Launch day alone grew to 2 million players by the end of the week. And then what is this? That's irrelevant to COD. So that's other information that Xbox Live Wire had in regards to. But that's just week 1.
Yeah.
Right. And we all know that some people are just they're not gonna play. I mean, I know people are not playing it now. They're like, yeah, I don't like the game, and that's fine. And like, I'm not gonna force those people to play. But guess what? Either they physically own the game, or they have Game Pass, and in 30 days they're gonna release new content. Either they're gonna be sucked back into it, or they're not. It's just how that's gonna go. And that's games as a service. This is the sort of thing, like, you want a strong launch, but you want to you want to get the right people playing your game to continue to keep it alive. And that's the challenge that they're facing right now. But I think they're going to be doing good. I don't think anything bad from this, and just let people enjoy a game. Let them enjoy a game. And like, don't try to take away. Don't be a fun sucker.
Yeah,
don't be that guy,
dude.
Right.
Master Chief with the DDT on the enemy.
Hold on. A mixer, Ace Junkie, said, as gamers, we should want all games to succeed, even if it's not for you or not on your preferred platform. And that's absolutely true, man. That absolutely, we should all have, even though I don't really like Sea of Thieves, I want it to succeed, because then, it means we'll get more games from Rare and Microsoft. So, like.
Exactly. As long as the game doesn't have kind of like what I call like anti-gamer practices in it, like a pay-to-win aspect or anything like that, like we should definitely, at least root for the industry. Like there are games out there that I definitely won't get into, but when I see its success, I'm like, awesome. That means that, there might be that type of game coming down the line, but within an atmosphere that I might like. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I like seeing developers go and kind of think outside the box when it comes to games. And if we get caught up in just, we need a first-person shooter, or we need just this type of game, this game is what sells. Look at Call of Duty. We need to clone that and stuff like that. Then the creative, kind of like the creative juices stop flowing, and everybody will make like a Call of Duty clone.
Yeah, we're just gonna have clones, and it's not gonna be good for the industry. It's not gonna be good for the gamers.
So checkbox development is what you guys are saying, right? I mean, that's what it is. That's what people talk about. It's like everyone's got to have a checkbox, or somebody that writes the check that's higher up that goes, well, this does really well. Why can't we have this? And that's the problem, is like when games get so big and there's so much money on the line, everyone's got an investment in the product, and everyone's got a say, and then that also stifles, any sort of risk taking in regards to that. So, kudos. I mean, I know there's some people that are pissed because they want something a little bit different than Sea of Thieves, but kudos to Phil taking the risk. I mean, this is a risky game to take, and kudos to Rare. I mean, Rare could have just did something that was already done before and just do it in a Rare sort of way.
They could have made this generation Battletoads and been safe all the way through. That's what they could have done. Everybody, would have been happy, but it's not pushing the boundary of what a game can be. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what I really gotta applaud, Craig Duncan, Rare Limited out there for really, because they can reach back into their bag of history and pull out a sequel to a number of games. And just, went out there with that and collected the money and stuff. But they wanted to make a game that was different. They wanted to make a world that you can live in with experiences that you're not going to get anywhere else. And I got to say, I had an experience last night. You guys saw it in the gameplay that I cannot have in any other game. And that's because of them thinking outside the box and giving us something new, man. That's what I think.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that being said, man, I can't wait. I think the future is really bright for Sea of Thieves. Xbox, Microsoft, they got to back up Rare, and they got to show that they are going to continue to let this game and this world within this game evolve. There are some things I want to see. New types of villains, like smaller type enemies. Kind of like the skeletons, but maybe sirens on like the rocks in the middle of the ocean. It's just a couple of different things to fight and stuff like that, along with a bunch of the other content that they're talking about. So I'm excited. I'm gonna keep playing, man. At one point in time, we had like 32 pieces of treasure on our ship last night, and it was absolutely insane. It is a game to play with friends. It is a game that I like to play alone as well. It's a fun game, guys. Fun game. But with that being said, let's talk about games and games going. I don't know if I should say going multiplat or games that had the opportunity to and now are coming to Xbox One. And let's start with the more recent of the two, and then we're gonna get into kind of like that meat close to the bone here. So let's talk about Hellblade is coming to Xbox One, and I need to know, Don, are you excited for this? What do you think? Are you gonna pick up Hellblade on Xbox One, man?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick it up on Xbox One. I already have a copy on PS4.
Are you gonna buy me a copy?
No.
Damn it!
Not doing that. But but I will tell you. I mean, this is something I mentioned over a year ago that was going to happen, and it's before it was on anyone's radar. That was playing PlayStation. Everyone kind of forgot about the game, right? And then prior to the game coming out, I kept saying, "Yeah, it's a good game. You guys should try it out. It's going to be awesome. It's something unique." And I always said it's going to come to Xbox, and lo and behold, sell numbers start slowing down on the PlayStation, and they gave it enough time so they can subsidize the cost from developing on one platform to help develop on another, and that now the Xbox guys got it, and I guarantee this game's also going to get a second win on PlayStation as well, because more people are going to be talking about the game and it's going to be more relevant. So, good for Ninja Theory. I want those guys to do well. So
I am a huge fan of Ninja Theory as a development team. I loved what they did with DMC, even going way back with Kung Fu Chaos on the original Xbox. I think they are quality developers. This title though, I'm a little iffy about. I don't know, the size of the story, the length of time of the story. Kind of like the repetitive nature of the combat. I think when it comes to Ninja Theory, because when you look at DMC, which is one of my favorite games, the reboot to Devil May Cry, and the combat system in that is so intricate, it's so detailed, it's so expressive, it's so kind of like wide open, and to see them come back with a game like this feels a little repetitious to me, but
well, the way to frame like Hellblade is, you ever see like story-based games that are just more or less walking simulators, and those are indie games. People pay $30 for those things sometimes 20, right, when they're new, and it just depends on and some people wait a little bit longer, and people praise those. This is that with combat, with puzzle, with actual quality.
I do like the puzzles, man. I do like the puzzles.
Actually, quality talent that brings it all together, and and everything about the storytelling is the experience you're having with truly interacting with the title at all times. And so it's as far as the overall length, yeah, it's this length, but there's other indie titles. There's similar price categories, or at least close to it. They're not nearly the same production value, with not nearly the same amount of variety of content that's all tied together, nor it is a packed full story is Hellblade. Like, yes, it's easy when you see it as a AAA. You want to compare it to other AAA titles, but compare it to that middle category that's just above like your typical indie title, right? Mm-hmm. To somebody that's a publisher that is a AAA, and that's where Hellblade resides in as a product. And I think it's a really good product. I think people should give the game a shot. And you want indie developers to push what they can do versus just kind of going for their minimum. Does that make any sense? Because pixel games that They're cute.
They're done. 8-bit is done this generation, and I am so happy for that, man.
Yeah, and that's no longer an excuse. I mean, for developers, like they kind of have to bring their A game because you want to compete with the big boys. You want to be considered part of the big boys. You gotta bring that talent. You got to be hungry for it. And I think Ninja Theory is. I think Xbox. You'll be surprised if you give the game a chance.
I will give the game a chance as long as I can get a little hashtag mooching going on, man. I don't know. Like, I don't want to gamble on this game with that money when I could put that money into other things right now. That's the way I'm thinking. It looks interesting to me. I am a huge fan of Ninja Theory, and we just talked about it. I don't have any qualms or there's no negative to this game's success, in my opinion. I love the development studio. I think they do a great job with a lot of games that they have made. I'm just not sure about this one. But, let's move to K Mega. Mega, what do you think about Hellblade going to Xbox One? Did you know this was going to happen, and are you going to pick it up, man? Or not?
He dropped his juice box.
Well, by Mega, let's say I was saying Dark Optimus.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there he is.
Okay. My bad. All right, no, I was just saying, as this is the one reason why I wanted to bring out this gameplay because
dude, I love how we're talking. I did not plan it, but we're talking about it while the gameplay's going on, man.
Right, yeah, and this is the beginning of the game. This isn't nowhere near the end or anything like that.
I thought it was a spoiler.
No, this is like a early boss. So anyway, this game is. Okay, you know how like we've been asking for this generation a lot of the B games to come out, like because we haven't seen a lot of these B type games, and they're starting to come through. This is like B plus,
B plus,
B plus, maybe A. It's not a triple A. No, definitely not a triple A, but it is an A to me. This game is so original. There's nothing like this. Yeah, the combat can be repetitive, but this is where this game hits you. Is in its story, its lore, the character in this lady's the struggle of what she's going through and what she's trying to do. I cannot get enough. I already bought it again for the Xbox because I think this thing on HDR is going to look stupid, and I've got it bought it for my PC. This is PC gameplay. I'm like, damn, this game is beautiful. It's gorgeous. It also uses new technology that if you look at the what is Andy Serkis and what they're doing with that, and then you see that, with the ray tracing and stuff like that with the camera, and they don't have to use the big balls, just put a little dots and just go from there. They use this technology, and this is just a marvel, man. This game is so important for gaming to me. It is on another plateau because it's bringing the art of great acting, great storytelling, bringing movie quality-esque type of skill into gaming. This is what we've been waiting for. This is what we've been wanting. And the more and more that they start going into getting deep into games with this type of art style and going, just going all over the place instead of just staying with what sells. This is what gaming needs to be at. I'm so excited.
Thinking outside the box, which we were just talking about. It's something that to me should be the backbone of game development. Not just say, hey,
hashtag save lock.
Oh,
there's a guardian.
Yeah, you notice I'm keeping
just
lock in the pregame. I'm keeping the picture of lock there. I can change that at any point in time, man. But I'm letting you know.
Hashtag nobody wants lock back.
Okay, anyway. So, but no, just that the game is spectacular, and yes, I knew that this game was going to come out a long time ago when I brought it up. In like Bang Bang, which was the stupidest place for me to do it, but I got ridiculed. I got called stupid. I got called everything but anything positive. Just say it like that. And now to be here, nobody's saying anything. Of course, because that's unfortunate. This game deserves to be seen by so many other gamers. So I really hope Xbox gamers support it, and especially those out there that's been saying that Xbox is not giving out narratives that are more adult games. If your ass is over here talking about that and you don't support this game, Shame on you.
Send
Shame on
that
you.
shit to Hades.
Send that shit to Hades. Send your ass to Hades because you're a liar. You're a fraud.
Let me ask
Real
you.
talk.
Hold on, real quick. I just want to give a huge shout out to Jago, our brother Stick Figure, Stinking Corpse, and HTK. Thank you for joining the chat. It is good to see you guys in here with the rest of the chat crew for the next podcast. But go ahead, Don. What were you saying?
Well, I know K-Manga's played. Have you played it, Dark, as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's one of those games that I have a hard time seeing a publisher even like getting on board when you try to describe the game. But once you kind of experience the game, there's a reason why this game stands out because it is independent. Because they're the creative minds that are not, they're just able to be creative and they don't have to worry about somebody that's worrying about the checkbook.
Well, yeah, they're being more creative because of the budget. They can kind of like spread their wings a little bit more because they're not spending as much on the title.
Well,
right?
it's their dollars, right? And so like it's very easy to risk your own dollars. It's much harder to work with somebody else and risk someone else's dollar. And I think that's why this game does kind of stand out is because can you imagine going to a publisher and saying, I want to do this fighting game. It's about Norse mythology, which a lot of games in that category. It's going to be very much psychological. It's going to have to deal with somebody dealing with, schizophrenia and all this sort of stuff. And they're like most publishers would just kind of look at it and say, hey, it sounds nice. I know you guys are super talented. Good luck. That's usually what they'll do. And, Ninja Theory just said, here you go. And it sets a good message to publishers as well. That, maybe just the formulated games, you do have to take a little bit more risk outside of the formula to really get. So that's why I say, like, I hope this game does pick up steam on both platforms by getting the new release because that sends not a clear message just to platform providers. It sends a clear message to people that publish games, and I think that's so crucial as far as gaming is concerned.
STU shot you in the chat says he cannot wait to play it. So I think there is somebody right there who is going to buy the game. Like I said,
that's great.
With me, it's just I keep hearing that the ending, although a lot of people talking about the graphics and the story and stuff like that, I hear the ending does fall short. And all the gameplay I have watched, and I didn't watch like the full walkthrough, like part 1 to the end, because I'm still not sure if I'm going to play this. It just, to me, looks the combat looks repetitious to me, like I said, and I was spoiled with DMC. I know that maybe I can kind of scale that back and try to get into it, but
this is more of a psychological type of game. This isn't DMZ, like the
it's
combat
like Norse
system
mythology,
and all that.
The Shining, huh?
No. See, it's got Norse mythology in it because of what's going on, what she has to do. But this is more of a thing of where you're looking at a character that's going through turmoil, and that it has that you see really actually real people going through this type of psychosis, man. Like, look, I won't keep going no further because I will spoil it. It's just this game is so deep on all different type of levels, and just for them to make that is awesome. I mean, look, when this game hit on PlayStation, I was giving all types of props because I was just and I was like, look, this game is amazing. It's just that I wanted to get the best graphics that I could for it, so that's why I got it on PC. And if and if it was on the PlayStation, I would have been. But regardless, kudos to Sony for going out there and we know that they're the bigger platform, so of course they want to get out there and get more people hands on the game. But kudos for Sony for taking the chance with the game as well.
Well, so it's not even a Sony thing. Like people give Sony credit for this game. It has nothing to do with them. Sony provided a platform. Ninja Theory does have a history with Sony, so they actually, and I know this for a fact because I talked to the guys that worked on it. Okay, they have a history with Sony. They felt more comfortable going with Sony first, and this is before PlayStation even took off. They made this decision before Pro was an actual thing you can buy on the shelf, and so they said, okay, our last game, that we did exclusive, it was on Sony's platform. We can only afford to do it on one platform first. We're going to do it on the platform we're more familiar with. We know how it's going to go. We know how we can work with those guys. And it was simple as that. And It didn't ever come out of like, hey, we like this platform, we hate this platform. It just came from that's what they were more familiar with, is as far as a company to work with, and that bodes well, because you think about it, like a lot of times people give Phil crap for being a nice guy and stuff like that. He's trying to patch those relationships, so basically these developers would think of Xbox first, right? And because of poor relationships within Microsoft, and I'll say this, I'll speak on this to a certain degree, because of poor experiences early on into Xbox One, leaving 360 into Xbox One, a lot of developers were kind of frustrated with certain policies and felt like they were talking to a brick wall. And so a lot of what Phil's doing when being a nice guy, he's trying to earn those developers back as a customer, and that's how he's treating it. So, it was just inevitable. It was going to be on the platform no matter what.
Right.
The No Man's Sky one's a bigger surprise. That one's a much bigger
Well,
surprise.
the HDR. Before we get into the No Man's Sky, the HDR aspect of Hellblade is going to be the game changer, because if anybody's watched that trailer, trust me, that's the best looking version of this out, unless somebody has one of those super duper PCs. But on a console, it's not even close, Jack. That HDR made my mouth drop. I hit buy and didn't even care how much it costs. That's how good that damn game looked. I'm just saying that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yo, Dark, what do you think about Hellblade coming to Xbox One? I know you are a multi-console owner, so I'm not sure if you got Hellblade on the PS4, but let us know if you got it, if you're interested on getting it on the Xbox One. And what do you think? Is this good for the gamers? The game coming to Xbox, man.
Well, that goes to show you that our host doesn't pay attention to anything that we say, because Don did ask me that did ask me if I played the game. So, and I said yes.
Well, you can play the game but not own the game, man. I'm saying.
No, you cannot. Well, I guess you can.
Yeah, you can.
But with this one, you can't. You can't. Like, you honestly, you have to own the game, because you can't really go to a friend's house and play this game. It's just too immersive. Like in terms of like, the voices and things like that. You have to play this game.
This is the worst game if someone's gonna troll you in the house and give you a wet willy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Put your headphones on and enjoy.
Man, let me talk, K-Mega. God damn it.
Sorry, man. I'm so hyped for this game. I'm glad Xbox fans got this shit, man.
No, I'm excited too, man. I agree with everything you guys are saying. I think this coming to Xbox is a good thing. This is any game that comes, to multi-plat. It's better for the industry. It's better for the gamer. And if you're going into this game expecting it to be like DMC, it's completely not. It's definitely a psychological thriller. It brings in the Norse mythology and things like that. It's a fantastic look into the mind of somebody who is
crazy.
Not crazy, but dealing with an illness that is, very prevalent in society and stuff. So it definitely it's a good game. They definitely did their homework on that game, and I'm excited that it's coming to Xbox for sure.
I gotta shout out one of the sponsors of the show, of this channel, Mr. Brian Baker out there. I gotta say, man, I am with you. I wish I was excited for this game. Personally, I'm excited that it's coming over here now. There's a bunch of titles that came out on PS4 that could easily come over to Xbox. It's not an exclusive thing. It's not a marketing deal or anything like that. It's just for some rhyme or reason, that's the platform they went on. And there are some Xbox gamers, there's gamers out there who can't afford to be multi-console or whatnot. And they're waiting to see if those games come over. So it's good to see that, this game's coming over for the people who really can't go multi-console on for some rhyme or reason, whether it's financial or whatnot, and they'll get to experience this game, because I know a lot of people out there were like, damn, this game looks great. The graphics are stunning. They're diving deep into psychosis. I hear people talking about wearing your headset because the voices are just insane, stuff like that. So it's good to see it come over to Xbox. We have to go into a more interesting development, in my opinion, and to hear everybody praise Hellblade coming to Xbox One. I know the entire panel is completely pumped for No Man's Sky Xbox One edition. Am I right, guys? Am I right?
No.
Really?
This is a game that could have stayed on PlayStation.
Hold on. Well, let's flesh it out a little bit here. This game, of course, it had a kind of like a really drastic launch. A lot of people bought the game on PS4 when it launched a couple years back, but there was a lot of promises made by the developers in terms of this game that just weren't in it. All right, so that was a huge thing when this game launched. That certain aspects that people were excited about, when the game released, it just wasn't there. But with that being said, over time they have put in patches, they have put in updates, they have changed this game a lot from when it was first released. Now, with that being said, since Dark was the first to chime in, Dark, man, what do you think about No Man's Sky coming to Xbox? You don't sound like you're a fan, but I want to know why, man.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Simply because of the fact that it's like Sea of Thieves for me. It doesn't have a story to it. It's the same thing, but it's just kind of like it was like the. When I played it on the PlayStation, because I bought it when it came out, it didn't appeal to me. I didn't like the whole fact that you were just running around trying to get resources and things like that. I have to have more structure with my gaming. And I just think that it could be potentially maybe be, I don't know what kind of updates they put in it. I don't know if they did anything there.
And people in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong, if you know this, I believe one of the last big updates, they put in online co-op in this game. So
okay, well then that's good.
You can go in with a friend and kind of like, it's definitely an exploration game. I will let people out there know, for people who follow me and O-Snaps, O-Snaps was streaming this game for a while, and I was playing it as well. At its core, I actually really I enjoyed the game, man. I thought the exploration part of it was really cool. I liked it to that aspect. Now, did I like the fact that a lot of stuff that they were talking about, when they're like, well, technically you can meet up with other people, but the universe is so big. Stuff like that wasn't in there, and the developers were basically caught out lying. Now, in their defense, Sony kind of stuck them out there to say these things as well. So,
honestly, I think they made too many promises that they couldn't keep, and I don't think it had anything to do with too much of what Sony tried to have them put out there. I think the guys at Hello Games, they just wanted to put those kind of things out there, and it didn't work out. It didn't work for what the game was.
Well, I mean, as you can see, I'm a big fan of Sea of Thieves. I like that exploration and stuff like that in a game. Big worlds, go in and find this. What's in that cave over there? What's underwater over here? I like that type of stuff. But Mega, you were pumped about Hellblade, man. What do you think about No Man's Sky? Do you know about the updates since it was released? And
Bruh, I don't change my stripes. I think people should know that about me right now. I was not interested in that game. Once I found out that this game was supposed to be revolutionary, it was going to take indie games to the next plateau. It was making people like Don and all other type of developers that was making these certain type of games, that this game was going to do it. Yoshida was right there playing it, telling him. And the fact of it is that game didn't live up to expectations. And all I asked to certain PlayStation 4 fans was, look, this game is only 5 gigs. I cannot see this game being this robust, this massive at 5 gigs.
Complex, intricate.
Yeah. I mean, months, maybe even years for you to run into another character. 5 gigs, really? And you're Omega. You're a liar. You fraud. I hate you. Kill yourself. Okay, all right, my bad.
Supersonic in the chat heard you say Yoshida. You see him, man? He's like Yoshida.
Yeah, Yoshida Power. Yes, I can't wait to see you do something for MC in the mornings. But the thing of it is this, man. Like, I feel bad for the developer of the game, man, because in all actuality, I hear an echo. Do y'all hear that?
Yeah. Well, I don't know who that's from.
Okay. Anyway. I don't sound too good from that. It sounds like muffling my voice. My voice is milky and smooth, man.
Make sure everybody, if they're watching YouTube or Mixer or whatnot, make sure the sound.
No, but anyway, regardless. This is the
like
thing,
milk
right?
on lumps.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man. You know what? If I sit there and I talk to a lady to go to bed, she would go right to sleep because that voice is so soothing. No. It's like Morgan Freeman.
Dude,
yeah.
You do not have the golden voice of this podcast.
The golden voice, baby.
One, sir.
Stop it. Anyway, so the thing of it is, okay, with No Man's Sky, I think that this game should have been more promoted for PC, in my opinion, than it was for the consoles, because maybe there it would have had long life because it could have built itself up on PC, got a following, and then moved to consoles. But it jumped straight over there to the PS4 and PC, and then it just didn't. It just didn't grow, and then the price didn't go down because I was going to get it on PC because I wanted to see what this game was going to be like. I wanted to experience it, and then I think it was less than a week that then they showed that there was a couple of YouTubers that showed themselves seeing each other at the end of the universe or whatever, which was an absolute fail. The man, him and his team, they were overwhelmed and they pushed that game out way too early. Remember, there were so many other problems beforehand, and people were wondering what was going to happen with this game. Was it even going to come out? Because it got delayed a couple of times. They were having some issues. So it's unfortunate. But now I'm hearing that the game is better than it has been. You know, PlayStation fans actually had their previews game, like they like to clown us about PUBG and other games. So for anybody that's interested, go ahead. I'm not going to be that guy and say, oh, because it's on the Xbox, great for them. I'm still not interested. I think that for this game to have any type of survival, for anybody on Xbox to really want to gravitate to it, it's going to be through Game Pass. I think it would be very smart to go ahead and, I don't know if that's like a loss that they would take or whatever.
A hit addition to Game Pass, man.
Yeah, but they need to put that game on Game Pass so people will have an opportunity to experience it, because I don't see anybody paying $20-$30 for this game at all. And that's just on the Xbox. Yeah, that's just my opinion.
When this game released, now correct me if I'm wrong, it was a full $60 title.
Oh, yeah. It was even, they even have a special edition that was like $89.
Now, is it going to be, does anybody know? Because I didn't see a price point on this. Does anybody know, is it going to be cheaper this time around when it comes to Xbox?
I haven't seen the price point.
Me neither, man. Like, do you think $60 would be justified, or do you think they need to slice that in half at least?
Hell no! Send that shit to Hades. There's no way that then that game is dead on arrival. Right now on PC, that game is $23.99. So you can't go any further than that. And
you go $30 on console.
Consoles do, because it's more stable, I guess. But no, even $30, you're not going to get anybody. That's why I said this game needs to be a Game Pass, title. And also, Supersonic said something perfect, that this game is actually probably going to be a showcase for VR. for Xbox, which I could definitely see that.
That would be
so
crazy, man.
And that would generate more people to want to be interested in it. But I still think that you need that Game Pass to get more hands on it. I think the only game out of the games that's coming over right now that that was on the PlayStation to coming over to Xbox would be that could hold their own is Hellblade. That's the only game that I think that, because the price right now is reasonable, it's only $26.
Near Automata can come. There's no
the rumors are still strong about that, and I would love Near Automata.
There's no kind of like restriction for that developer to not bring it over to another platform. So
right.
I mean, there's a bunch of games over there on the PS4 that don't really have an exclusive title or some type of strict kind of like marketing contract or exclusivity contract to where they can't go to other platforms. And that's interesting to me. That's something like we haven't really seen a lot of in previous generations compared to this generation, man. It exploded like 110% this gen. So I mean, it's going to be interesting, guys. What I really wanted to ask when it comes down to this, and first a couple shout outs here. Shot you in the chat said basically 20 pounds euro. So that's about $25-$30 over here in the United States. Huge shout out to Fastback who joined us. He said he will get No Man's Sky this summer. Looks much better than launch. And Fastback, the more I look into the updates that they have been doing on this game, I am actually interested in going back and checking it out. We do have it in the house for PS4. I'm gonna check it out, and maybe I'll do a live stream of it and show you guys kind of like any new features or stuff like that. So this way we can kind of get caught up on this game, because it's been about Sean Murray. Let's be honest here. When we talk social media, when we talk No Man's Sky, it's quote unquote, where's Sean Murray? Sean Murray disappeared. He's over in the Caribbean showering himself with $100 bills and stuff like that. Another thing, huge shout out to Matt J over on Mixer. Thank you for joining us, man. Ace Junkie said this game needs to have co-op. I believe they put that in the last big update for the game, but I will go in and check it on the PS4 and let you guys know.
What about he also said Crash Bandicoot can handle its own. Well, yeah, Crash could, but I still would think that Crash would better be suited to go to Game Pass. But we're talking about Activision. That's a whole different animal, and Activision is going to want their money.
Well,
so.
Guys, this is just a personal thing with me. I was never a fan of Crash Bandicoot. When it first showed up on the PlayStation platform, I had a PlayStation and all that good stuff. I never got into Crash.
And that's not paying $60 for it. No.
That's just me personally. You know what I'm saying? I know there's a lot of people out there. It's like how I love Sonic, but some people absolutely hate the guy. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I'm happy that these games are kind of like expanding and going on different platforms. But the big question, and since I have your ear right now, I'm going to bring this to you and then sweep down the panel here. Okay. Phil Spencer said, after the whole power thing, after getting, Xbox Live on multiple platforms and stuff, he was focusing on games. Do you think this is these things are kind of like a Phil Spencer deal that he went out to the developers? The game's already done. When it comes to porting over to Xbox, it's a lot simpler than basically probably going from Xbox to other platforms, and it's definitely it's easier than it was previous generations. Do you see this as, all right, now Phil Spencer is filling out the library, more. He's starting with games that are already out, and then we're seeing, new games coming, from first party this year, and then E3 and whatnot. Do you think this is kind of like early results of that? Yeah, no,
yeah, absolutely. I think that for the naysayers out there that says Phil has been too soft, he's not.
He just done his job, man.
Yeah, Phil hasn't been doing this, haven't been doing that. Look, all this wheeling and dealing and movements take time. Plus, also, I can't really say for sure if this was a Phil thing because I know that there's people that don't like other people saying that the media is biased about certain things. but there is a clear picture here, because when we seen about Tomb Raider, and Xbox was drilled about, is this an actual exclusive or this is a timed exclusive? None of these games were ever asked. None of these games were ever asked by any of the media, and if they were, they weren't published to where if we knew that Hellblade or No Man's Sky or other games were going to be coming to or Crash was going to come to the Xbox, like about what was happening with Tomb Raider. Now, granted, Tomb Raider is a much bigger game than all three of those games.
I was waiting to chime in on this one.
Yeah, but I just wanted to. But to me, it's like, well, these could have been deals that's already been made from the beginning, and now, you know what I'm saying? And so this is just the fruits of the labor that's coming because everybody was so hush-hush. The media didn't release any information about these games were supposed to be coming. They just made them out as they were the PlayStation exclusives. So again, I think, like I said, Phil is doing a magnificent job, and I think that it will start seeing a lot more of these games come. To me, you know what I'm saying, Hellblade is definitely, well, all these games are a winner for sure. Yeah. Hellblade is a big winner, but to me, the big winner will be Nier. If Nier Automata definitely comes to the Xbox, which has been
another year,
a long time. Well, it doesn't. I don't know. I don't. You know, it don't matter. It doesn't matter. If it does come to the Xbox, that is the win, because that is one of the touted games that a lot of PlayStation fans used for their for you know, on their lists. It's sold really well. You know, 2 million. Amongst the PC and the PlayStation, and so the game is really dope. I have it on the PlayStation. So the thing of it is that this game is that would be a huge get for Microsoft, because it's one of those games that a lot of the naysayers say that Microsoft just don't want to support. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. So no, I think Phil is doing a fantastic job, and I think when we come to E3, there is going to be balls to the walls, a lot of Japanese games being shown.
That would be crazy. But yo, Mega, I want to touch on this fact when it comes to Tomb Raider, all right? And I've heard this around there. And yo, Xbox, they got hammered. Phil Spencer got hammered when we were talking about, you know, that 1 year exclusivity. Of course, they didn't say exactly when. They said, you know, coming to Xbox and all that good stuff. And you're right, man. They got absolutely hammered. But in a certain rhyme or reason, I can kind of see that, because, you know, Tomb Raider, you know, it was on PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? So there was an interest to see exactly what was going on, if it was going to be an absolute exclusive on Xbox or if it was going to go down the line. And of course, the developers did not help that situation in one bit. When it comes to No Man's Sky and Hellblade, I could see them not really saying anything. I mean, let's be honest here. No Man's Sky was marketed like a Sony exclusive. There was no talk about it going anywhere else anytime soon or anything like that. Hellblade, there was always a thinking of that. I think the biggest one is Crash. Crash, that has me thinking, why didn't the media kind of dig into that a little bit more? Because, you know, Crash it's owned by Activision. I know Crash started on PlayStation, but it was sold over to Activision, and that would spark interest within the gaming media on, well, what's going on? Is it eventually going here, or what's going on? And I don't feel they treated that situation the same as Tomb Raider. So with that one I'll give you, but the other two, I can see them not really kind of drilling anybody on, you know, future platforms and stuff.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, look, if you've been following gaming like we do, it's Activision. I've been saying that. I said that from day one. They don't
get money anywhere, man.
It's all about cash with Activision. They don't care about brand loyalty. They care about money. So we knew Crash was coming. And then also, if you go back to the history, Crash has been on other platforms as well. So it just wasn't, you know, you could bring up the nostalgia and talk about how many sales the PlayStation 4 has or whatever. It's Activision that owns this, right? And to make a point to Ace Junkie, because he was bringing up
I'm reading that right now, actually.
He was saying the stuff about Horizon Zero Dawn coming to the X. That will never happen because that's a PlayStation owned game.
Yeah, first party developer, all that good stuff.
Yeah. That's like saying Gears is going to go to the PlayStation. It's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Horizon Zero Dawn is a great, fantastic game. You know, it's not for everybody because of open world games is not really for everybody, but it's a beautiful game. It's one of the best looking games this generation. It deserves a lot of the accolades and praise that it's got.
But the no game's for everybody, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
You have to find what you like. So.
Right. And then also, so then he was bringing like, well, does Sony give devs money? I don't think it's that. I just think that
with No Man's Sky, they gave him a marketing budget.
Yeah.
So they did get like an indirect way. The money was involved with No Man's Sky.
No. Oh well, did you read what he said?
Yeah. But I want to clarify. Like,
okay,
so
go ahead.
People don't know what the status was with No Man's Sky in Sony, and Sony basically put the full marketing budget behind the product. So I mean, they flipped the bill on all that sort of stuff. So of course,
so they basically had the rights to what was said for marketing through that game, right?
Yeah, and whatever agreements that were done behind scenes, right? So that's where they collected some sort of check from Sony in some sort of form or fashion, right? Because without that hype from it was the Game Awards show, and then Sony kind of getting behind it, that game wouldn't have gotten so much attention. And so there is quite a bit of involvement on Sony. I mean, that's probably the reason why they never talked about it until it was ready. In regards to that, because they're trying to ride that wave as long as they possibly can, and then they pissed off their customer base, so they really couldn't say anything when their customers were all upset at them. So they kind of just had to let that ride itself out, which is smart. It's what you're supposed to do in those sort of situations.
I got cut up so badly when me and O Snaps were actually like streaming this game, and I said, this is actually pretty fun. Like I love like exploration games, man, and jumping from planet to planet, even the inhabitable ones, which there are a lot of them in this game. I love exploration, man, and I got cut up so bad when I was like, this is actually not that bad, man.
You know what? I played it, and I try not to say anything negative about really any product, because what one man's treasure, the other man's trash, right? And with this game, the gameplay loop, I could not find any fun out of it. Like, I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't even know who I can even recommend, because even most games that I don't enjoy, I can at least know, hey, this type of gamer would really enjoy this game. Not for me, but I know who would enjoy it. And No Man's Sky, I draw a blank. I mean, I wouldn't even picture you bot as somebody that would enjoy it, to be honest with you. And not to speak for you, I just never would have pictured that.
I'm more expansive than even the Don knows. Look at that.
Wow.
But I don't know. I mean, it's good to see the library expanding, and that's what I want to just ask. Dark and Don about this. Dark, do you think this is kind of like the first kind of results of Phil Spencer like really trying to flesh out in more detail the library on Xbox One? Like, I feel the Xbox One library, I feel it has a bunch of different types of games. I have had fun this entire generation. I guess I'm part of the 1% that plays a lot of exclusives, man. You look at like Halo 5, Forza, Sunset Overdrive, Quantum Break, Sea of Thieves. Like, I am all over the exclusives on the Xbox platform. But do you think this is kind of like the first results of them really trying to broaden the library to Xbox One games?
This is definitely them listening. Because
even with
in
No
the past,
Man's Sky, because are you sure?
Yeah, even with No Man's Sky, it's them listening, saying, because we've been touting it for years now that we want more games on our preferred platform. We just want more games, and I think they're listening, and they're hearing that, and they're saying, oh, well, what games are out already? Since we don't really like, we still have some exclusives that are in the development stage. Like, what can we bring from that don't really have a contract with PlayStation or PC that we can just bring in and bring it to our platform? And they decided on these couple of games.
So do you think Nier is close behind on this whole thing?
I think Nier is closer than a year. Honestly, I think it'll. Honestly, I think I think it'll come out. Probably sometime in the next 6 months or so. I think.
Damn, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that franchise, but to see that come over, man, like K Mega said.
Well, honestly, this game is actually a lot better than the Nier before. The Nier before was okay. Like, it was okay, but Nier Automata is like is just beyond the original Nier, and it's good to see that if it does come to Xbox, that Xbox gamers will be able to play it and actually enjoy something like this, because it's definitely a different type of game too. Like there's stuff in this game that you wouldn't see in other games. So, I mean, I definitely would recommend it, and when it does come
Mojo,
to Xbox.
I think Mojo agrees with you. He said Nier by the end of the summer, and that would be crazy.
That would be.
I could see it.
I mean, I
can see it, honestly.
I can see it too, but that would be insane. There was also another rumor, which I can't clarify that whatsoever, but there was a couple of people that were saying that maybe Nihon could come. That would be
I think there's
stupid if that did, because it's a third party. It's a third party, but again, because that was what got me a PlayStation 4. Horizon Zero Dawn and Nihon was the games that got me to get a PlayStation 4. So I was like, for those coming to the Xbox, like, damn, like that, and for our boy, what I forget what his name was, Black Rose Panther. He was saying that the Xbox is mediocre. You know what? Look, you can have that opinion. Everybody is entitled to whatever they feel and however they want to object Microsoft to be.
But don't knock another person for.
Yeah, don't knock. I don't see. I totally 100% disagree. You know what I'm saying? Phil Spencer saved Xbox. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Matrick left with his middle finger up and saying, "I don't give a damn. I'm not going to be here anyway."
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many games that were put out that we as Xbox gamers would have loved to see. Like that Obsidian RPG looked dope back then. If we could see that game and how it looks like now, or if they delayed it and add more enhancements to it with the help of DirectX 12 or whatever, I mean, that would have been something that's definitely needed to the Xbox portfolio, Xbox One portfolio this generation. We don't have any strong RPGs exclusively, and that's something that was hardcore on the 360 and on the OG Xbox. So again, I understand that where I don't know, look, I look at PlayStation's lineup, and their lineup is great. They got great games, but I'm still trying to understand how people dismiss Quantum Break and Sunset Overdrive and what Rise has done and what Recore, even though if you might not be into any of those games, or I'm saying, Halo 5, Gears. I was just playing Gears earlier today, and for some reason that game gets better and better and better.
That game is one of the prettiest games this generation.
That game gets stupid. It's more smooth. It's like, I'm like, wow, and it's visually even more impressive. So I'm like, I don't get it. Like, Xbox does have games. If it comes to Japanese type of titles, no, they don't. They've missed the mark with that, because when you compare it to PlayStation. But as you look for PlayStation gamers, aren't really buying a lot of those Japanese games either. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It's all third party or death.
Well, Mega, when it comes to games like Sunset Overdrive and Quantum Break, you got to remember, kind of like what the gaming media did with like Crackdown or whatever. If you remember Sunset Overdrive, one of the big questions was, there was a lot of people like IGN and stuff like that, when they were trying to play the game and stuff, they were running around on the ground, which in that game you do not do. You are supposed to bounce, jump, like slide down rails and stuff like that as you're like taking out the OD'd and stuff. And they never showed that game in its proper light, and there was always a negative media effect. If you look at Quantum Break, it was all resolution. Like, the talk of resolution completely overtook anything else to talk about in that game before it was released and when it was released. And it's unfortunate that those situations happen because those are quality titles, in my opinion, that I had a lot of fun playing. You know what I'm saying?
Quantum Break is one of the most original titles that I've ever played. I mean, look, you use time elements. You also bringing in old nostalgia with bringing games like Sewer Shark, Supreme, what was it? Supreme Ninja that was on the Sega CD, with showing like actual movie. Like Night Trap, where you're actually showing games with like some kind of a movie feature, like that was crazy to me. Like, wow! And then just on top of the story, and then when you hear people that are PlayStation fans that say this game has too much story, what? What?
Well,
So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, I just want to say something. I'm looking through the chat on YouTube, and I gotta ask, Don, do you know something that the rest of us don't know? Because Snap says that she just wants Gang Beasts on Xbox, and I can see that. That game is a lot of fun on PS4. It's just that every time we go in to play it, we get a bunch of kids. We don't really have a community over on PS4 to really go in and play games like that with. Where on Xbox, where we spend most of our time gaming, there is a living, thriving community that we are a part of on Xbox. So I can see why she would want Gang Beasts on Xbox. You said it's coming. Is there something you want to tell everybody, man?
Don't want to tell everybody, but I know things.
Well, you basically said it over there, and
I didn't say anything. I just said
it's coming.
It's coming.
That's saying something, man. That's saying it's coming, yo. And dude, I don't know if you know it or not, but now with YouTube, our live shows, the chat goes with the live show. So afterwards, like, people will still see that in the chat, man. You're not gonna get away with sharing information in the chat, and then all of a sudden it disappears.
Hey, look,
I know.
I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there at E3, and my big yellow ass will be showing myself in every event that I can get into.
Just so you know, it's frowned upon to show your big yellow ass. At E3, just so you know.
I'm gonna be just showing it, crack and all. Just let's go, wow. E3 bound, baby.
Wow. That's gross, and I don't want to see that.
But no, here's what I can say is, yes, they have a dev kit. Yes, they're interested in money. Every game has a 6-month window where they make the most they possibly can. In your independent studio, you're going to choose one platform, and you're going to go to the other roughly within that 6-month period. So how long has the game been out?
I'm trying to think. Maybe
4 months?
4 or 5 months, something like that.
Yeah, I would say, this is my guess, I would expect an announcement before E3.
That would be crazy. I know there's a lot of people. Shout out to Lady Foxfire out there. I know she was one of the people as we were streaming Gang Beasts. Like, she was like, "Man, I hope this comes to Xbox." So I hope in all actuality that it does, come to the Xbox platform. We do have it on the PS4, but like I said, we have a lot of friends on Xbox Live that I would love to get, like, these jelly characters all together and have fun playing the game with. But with that being said, man, we got a couple more topics here. I want to go and I want to talk about our buddy Tim Sweeney over at Epic Games, because he talked to GameSpot about crossplay and basically stating when it comes to Fortnite and then the future of gaming as a whole, Tim Sweeney says it is basically inevitable that Sony will kind of like bend to what this crossplay thing that's going on, and eventually we will be able to crossplay games such as Fortnite, PlayStation players to Xbox players, as well as PC players and I guess Switch, possibly mobile as well. But he says it's basically inevitable. I want to ask, let's go to the Don. He is a independent developer. I want to hear what he has to say on this. Do you think this is just kind of like wishful thinking for a developer and a development team that has a game that they're trying to do crossplay as much as they can with as many platforms as possible? Or do you think, like Tim Sweeney over here, and that it is actually inevitable that Sony will will kind of have to bend and do this at some point in time in the near future.
Yeah, it is inevitable. One of the biggest hurdles was getting one platform provider to get on board, and that's Xbox or PlayStation. And Xbox said, let's do this with Philip they had. So, it's inevitable now. It really is just eventually going to happen. Or if you don't innovate, you're going to die. I mean, that's what's going to end up happening to Sony. If they're going to get really hurt, because here's the thing: is developers do want this, big and small. It's not just the small developers. Everybody wants it. Everyone wants their game to continue to live on after launch. They want that because that continues to get people engaged in the product. Gets them to continue to buy for the product, either in the form of micro.
It'll get new players to buy into the game later on in its life cycle as well.
Exactly. It could be even microtransaction to new iterations, right? You can, like for example, Call of Duty. Let's say you didn't buy any of the map packs, but you continue to keep players engaged, in that game. More player base you have, the more even level skilled character players you can match people with. People don't realize that. So when people say, "Well, I had no problem getting in the game," but was it a balanced game? Is my question. And a lot of that, if you have a bigger player pool with more stats, you can make a much more even matches as far as that's concerned. And so that's why all this stuff is so eventually essential. And what's going to happen to Sony is they're going to end up losing out on that money. That's just what's going to end up come straight down to. You'll hit a threshold where these microtransactions or keeping people continuously engaged on your platform is going to be much more important than what they think they're going to lose by sharing their toys with Microsoft and vice versa.
Now, Don, real quick, before you continue, you said basically adapt or die, and that seems to be something that's going on. This crossplay thing is really coming on strong. It seems like the gaming industry as a whole is moving forward in that direction. Now, I don't want to play devil's advocate here, but I am, because when it comes to Sony, if you look at that corporation's history, you look at what happened with them in music and CDs and stuff like that. They didn't evolve, they didn't adapt, and then those divisions basically did die. So I think when it comes down to it, there are people saying that Sony doesn't need to do this. They're number one in hardware sales and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, I think people who have more common sense are a little bit concerned that they might not adapt and they might die because they have shown to do that in the past. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, they're unwilling to change it. And I understand, the thought process. But here's the thing: is more and more games are going to be games as a service, right? There's only so many players out there, right? So you're spreading that player base relatively thin. So yes, you do, as time goes on, and then as that becomes a business model for a lot of different games and a lot of different publishers, eventually, yeah, you're going to have, in order to keep a game even relevant, we're not talking now, we're talking 2 or 3 years down the road, right?
Yeah. In
order to keep your game just functioning and working, you're going to have crossbuy. And ones if, eventually, let's say Microsoft continues to get goodwill and all that sort of stuff, and players like, well, okay, if I go with Xbox, I can at least go PC or Xbox, and I can always play with my friends. I guarantee I can always play with my friends. But if I go PlayStation, I don't know. I don't know if my library's coming with me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue to play with my friends, in regards to that. So eventually there's going to be a tipping point for all this sort of stuff. And so, I know people don't like the idea of crossplay. I know some people love the idea, but this is the direction gaming is going to go. And numbers continue to push it. So
Don, with you being an independent developer, I know you're working on your own game right now. I want to ask you before I move on, down the panel and ask, what everybody thinks about crossplay with PlayStation. I got to ask you, because this seems to be a major turning point in the gaming industry, especially console gaming. I got to ask you, are you excited? Are you a little more trepidatious about what's going on for the future of games as a service, cross-platform, all this good stuff. It's a bunch of new stuff. It's a really big kind of like new direction, in my opinion, and in the absolute amount. All right, and I got to know from a developer, what are you excited for the future of gaming when it comes to this?
Yeah, I don't think crossplay is one of the things that gets me excited. It doesn't get me not excited, right? Like it just doesn't really have any effect on me either way. Mm-hmm. I think as a gamer, it gets me more excited than it does as a developer, to be honest with you, because for me that just means more work. You know what I mean? And I don't have a team behind me or anything like that. I'm just kind of doing my own thing, and my game's not going to have multiplayer, so this is a feature doesn't really apply to my project, right? But there will be future projects down the road that will affect that I will work on in regards to that. And it's just nice to say, hey, you know what, it doesn't really matter what you play on, because a lot of developers, they have their preference, but at the end of the day, they just, they have their preference of maybe what platform they prefer. But that's very low on the checkboxes as far as what developers concern themselves as gamers, right? Mm-hmm. They, where maybe more of a traditional gamer would put that much higher on their list, and that's kind of where developers and a traditional gamer would vary from one another as far as that's concerned. And so it's just nice that you can just play with whoever. Like, hey, if Xbox goes, like you for example, you guys on a podcast with Next Gen's about to go the whole PlayStation route, right?
He is.
Just at least the way he's acting, what? Right?
I don't. Yeah. I do not know what you are talking about, sir.
but yeah, he's starting to prefer his analog sticks to be not offset anymore, right? And so
parallel.
But he, Next Spot is, he's staying true to the cause, and you'll be able to still play with Next Gen, and that's what that means. Like at the end of the day, you're able to continue to play with those guys. And I've heard some people say, well, they're not your friends if they play on another platform. Well, sometimes your friends make different buying decisions. Your friends buy different cards from you. They buy different Blu-ray players than you. Like
that is true. That car analogy is awesome right there, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's to just be genuine, and like you're good friends. You both may like football, but you like different teams. Mm-hmm. There's this weird divide in gaming where people have their preferences, but the line's much harder to cross. Where in like sports and other things that people just indulge in, there's not that hard of a line, right? Like it's the sport that brings them together, and then they joke around about the others, right? And here it's like, hey, you like that platform? I don't like you, and that just I don't think terribly healthy in gaming. No. I think a good debate is, but that hard of a line I don't think is completely healthy. It's not going to help me, to be honest with you. Yeah. So
I got you, man. Yeah. I got you. Let's move on down the list. Let's hit up Dark real quick. Tim Sweeney says crossplay between PlayStation, Xbox is inevitable, and he is a part of the development team that is dealing with Fortnite Battle Royale. They're putting it absolutely everywhere in terms of platforms, and they want everybody to play together. So, Dark, do you think this is just wishful thinking from Tim and Epic Games, or do you think that there's something back here? He might know something, kind of like behind the scenes, or what do you think, man?
It's inevitable. Wow,
that's two. This
gotta happen. I mean, it's a must nowadays, especially since everybody kind of like they want people to play with. Especially if there's a game out there that doesn't have the following of gamers to play it. They need servers and stuff like that people are on to play. And I know there's a lot of people out there that really enjoy Ark Survival. I know that game's kind of pretty popular, but if those servers weren't as populated, like who are you gonna play with? It's just like it has to happen. Like we need it to where we have more people just enjoy our games with, you know, like isn't that what it's all about? Is just having fun with your friends and
Dude, at the core,
it doesn't
yeah,
matter if
man.
they're on PlayStation or on Xbox. It doesn't matter. Like I mean, yes, you can prefer. I mean, I think they're thinking like, well, our consoles aren't really gonna sell that well. It's just like, no, who gives a shit? Like, you're gonna play on what you play on. Like, you're gonna play on Xbox if you prefer Xbox. That's just the way it is. Like that's where you're gonna play. If you prefer PlayStation, then you're gonna play on PlayStation. Like it's not gonna really change. It'll change maybe in the market of casuals, or you know, just the majority of the gaming world out there, so to speak. Yeah, they'll probably either go Xbox or PlayStation, but for us as hardcore gamers, it's not going to change. Like we're all going to play on the platform that we prefer, and to have more people playing with us, that's awesome. Like that would be great. That'd be fantastic, you know. And we're seeing the signs of it happening, you know, especially with like Minecraft and you know,
I think Minecraft is kind of like the flagship spokesperson when it comes to crossplay across
Yeah.
multiple platforms. But again, Sony says no to that, man.
And that's the problem, is that we have a company that's out there that just doesn't want it to happen, and I don't understand why, especially since they're leading the pack of consoles right now, and they're kind of, you know, they're taking you know, they're taking strides to make, you know, more exclusive content for their system. I just don't understand why they can't just do it with their third party games. Like, you know, these are third party games that we're talking about here. It's not like something that's exclusive to your console that's gonna really change, you know, anything remotely to you. You know, it's not gonna really affect you at all. It's
Dark,
just it boggles my mind.
I think at the end of the day, when it comes to Sony, it's just to me it just looks like an old school mentality. Like they're still thinking kind of like last generation, and this generation, it to me seems to be a huge turning point in the gaming industry. I do want to hear what K Mega thinks about this. Yo, Mega. Epic Games, Tim Sweeney says crossplay between PlayStation and Xbox absolutely inevitable. You know, they made Fortnite. They're trying to get everybody to play on all the platforms that they have, you know, Fortnite on, including mobile. They want everybody to play together. Is this wishful thinking, or is there more to it, man?
No, I think this is more to it. I think personally that mostly all third-party multiplayer games will go to this type of genre, and they'll add this. Like, I'm excited. Like I can't wait for me being on the Xbox, being you know, me playing Madden crossplay with PlayStation fans.
Damn, I didn't even think about the sports.
You know what I'm saying?
games,
Or NBA 2K. Like, and like you implement different type of like they're still there. I haven't been on them in a long time, but like betting pools and things like that, where you can go in and you can bet certain money. You know what I'm saying? You bet money. And like, yeah, like I mean, it will entice more into the console war type aspect, but I'm not feeling all that, you know what I'm saying, because of me owning multiple platforms. I'm not, or you know, consoles and things of that nature. I support it. Like, I mean, me playing Tekken or Soul Calibur or DBZ or what if like Fighter, and just all types of games to jump on and play with other people, that brings more gaming to the community. I see where Microsoft is trying to go with that. Only thing that I would think that maybe Microsoft would try to do that maybe be problematic to a lot of Xbox fans is that they would try to bring some of their exclusives to be a multi-plat. I mean, I'm sorry, not to be cross-play with other, like we've already seen it with Gears, we've already seen it with Sea of Thieves, things like that, and a lot of gamers aren't liking that because they, you know, because a lot of PC games, they feel like a lot of PC gamers cheat, things of that nature, so they have to put in regulations. But that's why I think a lot of PlayStation gamers or YouTubers go out there and say, well, Xbox is going to bring a Halo to the PlayStation. That's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. The thing of it is, in PlayStation,
will go to PC though.
Yeah, it will go to PC because Windows is PC.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So it's smart money, and also that you'll have, they'll also bring those games to mobile and to mobile devices and to tablets. So look, the more I can shoot somebody and they're over here struggling on their tablet, on their cell phone, the more the merrier to me. I'm not tripping. You know what I'm saying? These old ass fingers got to keep working. You know what I'm saying?
But one thing I think a lot of people are kind of worried about, like the unfair advantages and stuff like that stuff balances itself out with when you have a matchmaking, right?
Mm-hmm.
It does. Matchmaking, if someone's getting crazy amount of kills, it starts putting them in a different place than, say, someone that's not.
To a certain aspect, it depends on the ratio and stuff like that. Because you have like, say Halo, for instance, and I was waiting for somebody to come in here on this, because when it comes to PC, when it comes to crossplay as a whole, I have no problem having an automatic crossplay console to console or whatnot, right? But when it comes down to like Xbox to PC, like what you're seeing in Sea of Thieves, what you've seen in Gears, the PC space, and I know there are a lot of PC gamers out there, and more power to you, but a lot of my friends that are PC gamers, their biggest complaints when they get into games are cheaters, all right?
Right. You got to fix that.
What? Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just saying they got to fix that. Like,
give it as an option, man. You can turn it on and off. Yeah.
That's the crazy thing right there, because they do have an option on when you look on your PC and you see through Microsoft, they do have like this option. I don't know if it's part of the previews program that they have on PC or what, but it needs to be fixed. And then you wouldn't have people like Crap and others that will say, well, I don't want to play with PC gamers because of the cheating and things like that. They got to fix that.
Well,
and they also
the option on the console side,
right? They have to have the option to where if people don't want to play with PC gamers, or if third-party games, if people don't want to play with PlayStation 4 or Nintendo players on third-party games, they need to cut it off. But it doesn't make sense to me for anybody to be so narrow-minded to not see that third-party games, the bigger these games are, the more money they spend into it, that these men and women don't need more revenue for these games. And crossplay keeps these games, keeping them alive. Mm-hmm. They keep them out there. And it also kind of gives a barometer of what games work and what games don't. I mean, look, I'm all for it. Like I've been saying this for the longest time, that gaming is moving forward, and the old guard, like the Barney Rubbles and shit, you know what I'm saying? The Flintstones, you got to move over. You got to quit gaming.
Don't you got to crack some eggs to make an omelet? I mean, that's exactly how it goes. I mean, like, you know, Thomas Edison failed 120 times to make the light bulb, but eventually he made it, right? Mm-hmm. And that sort of, you have to have missteps in order to get to something better, right? Mm-hmm. This sort of mentality of, no, it's totally bad, we shouldn't go through these growing pains, is this, if that existed, we wouldn't have first-person shooters on consoles today. Right. There would be no Halos, there would be no Call of Duties, none of that stuff would exist, because some people were pushing outside of those comfort zones, those boundaries, those preconceived notions that people have. Now we have games like that today. That same thing goes with online gaming on console. That's the reason why we have that, because people are pushing these sort of things. Now, they're going to make some missteps. Like, I'm not apologizing for anybody. Like, you know, developers are going to make some missteps. Mm-hmm. But people are complaining about Sea of Thieves, but the same thing they were complaining about happened to me last night. And I was the person that wasn't having the ship sync on me, and I was playing on my Xbox One X. So it leads me to believe, is it a glitch? Nice. So, but that's the thing. Is it a glitch, or is it something that has been introduced? Like, it raises the question, what's the cause of it, right? You know the symptom, what's really the cause of it? And I don't know. I know some people are on the PC side of things are not 100% happy with Sea of Thieves either. Like, I was talking to some of them, because you're not able, because it's a cross-play game, when you use keyboard and mouse, they actually lock the sensitivity of your mouse controls. I don't know a lot of people know this or not.
No,
and so you're not able to have really fast twitch type motions.
And that's good. That's good for console for controller players, though.
So yeah, it's a game balancing thing. So people are just assuming they're able to spin around on a dime. No, I mean they have to get a mouse pad the size of their desk, be able to get one full rotation, out of the game. So like these sort of things, there are learning curves. There are going to be some games that just going to do just fine on PC by themselves. There's some games that are just going to do fine on console by themselves. But there are going to be these games in between that cross different genres. And there's ways to balance this sort of stuff. I'm not saying this stuff is perfect, but it is a good direction for us to go. It is going to find its legs, and they're going to have to make mistakes in order to get better. Like, you can't expect them to be perfect right off the bat.
Dude, at the end of the day, I am a person that adapts, all right? So, at the end of the day, I'm excited to see more players on a game. I am down for that. My whole thing is with the PC space, and for people who are honest and have common sense and who play on PC, they will agree that there is a huge problem in that platform when it comes to cheaters, aimbots, stuff like that in PC gaming. And
because it's a more open platform.
I don't want that over here. That's all I'm saying. That's all. I don't care about, if I'm playing against PC or this and that. I just don't want that kind of I don't want the negative aspects of that platform over there coming over to my preferred platform as well.
And that's a reasonable request for any gamer, right? Like, and it doesn't matter what hardware you choose. Dealing with cheaters, that sucks. They're fun suckers. They take the fun out of the room, right? Like, nobody really honestly likes you when you're that person. You know what? It may be fun for a while, but it really ruins it for everybody else, and it ruins the longevity, especially these games as a service type games. Those are the ones that get hurt the most from these sort of things. So, yeah, I mean, that stuff does have to be addressed. Is it going to come up? Sure. But it can be more aggressive. And what's interesting is this is the type of thing where PC gamers can benefit from playing with console players, because now they have a much larger voice of saying, hey, we got to really address this sort of thing.
Yeah, the people who are against that, I can see that as well, man.
Yeah, you got Microsoft behind it, and then there's real consequences for Microsoft, right? If they don't let's say that sync and shit thing, like my thing was a fluke, and it is cheaters on the PC side of things. Let's just give it that sort of weight for now, right? That's going to hurt their player base on both platforms if they don't get it right. So there are true consequences to that. I mean, you only have so many of those situations happen where they go, well, I'm done with that game. I'm done with that game. So, I mean, they have to be on their A game on all this stuff.
I know it's an interesting topic. It is a very interesting time to be a gamer as a whole. Whether you prefer to game on PC, whether it's console, mobile, whatever, there is a certain direction, a certain new way that the industry is going. And I'm interested to see, where we're going to be 2-3 years down the line. But guys, it has been basically 2 hours. Our sponsor over here, Mr. Brian Baker, says this show never ends. But we are such an opinionated group. I love the common sense that we put out there. I love the opinions that are expressed on this show. But guys, it's Saturday night, man. I think we gotta let everybody else get to gaming. I know I want to get the controller in my hands. So like a 40-year-old with a comb over, we're gonna have to put those plugs in. I just want to shout out the chat, both on Mixer and on YouTube, guys. It is the night before Easter. I didn't expect a huge turnout. You guys are awesome, man. To see so many people on here and on YouTube and on Mixer, it is it's awesome, man. You guys inspire us to come together every Saturday and give you guys the best gaming podcast we can, complete with gameplay and fresh opinions. And we thank you guys for hanging out with us. So let's move on down the list. K Mega, I know you feel like you are gonna win the voting for best gameplay tonight, but why don't you let people know where they can get a hold of you, and maybe have these conversations go on social media and whatnot, man.
Well, yeah, there's no question. I mean, there was multiple people that was giving love.
Up, by the way.
yeah. There's multiple people that were showing love to my gameplay, and I didn't hear anybody else getting any love. Yeah, I hear a lot of noise in the background.
You're up by 1% right now.
That's K-Mega holding out his cup.
Remember, I'm showing Master Chief fighting in a fighting game. No one has showed that. So anyway, I showed Bayonetta. Go and check that gameplay again. I showed Bayonetta, Deadpool. I showed a King of the Fighters player. I can't think of his name right off now. I showed Yuri from Street Fighter 5. I also showed what was the other person I can't think of right now? Oh yeah, Morgan from Darkstalkers. Look, I did all types of cameos. Plus, of course, I showed you a glimpse of what you can expect in Hellblade. Nothing to really spoil anything. So yes, the gameplay is solid. And next week, I'm going to have some backup, but next week I'll let Bot give what I originally was going to show for next week. So, and that is a classic. He don't like that already. So yeah, I'm just giving you right there. But anyway, so you can check me out on the GRG podcast every Friday night. We're right after the Crossfire. We start at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, 9:30 Eastern. I think it's like 5:30 Pacific. Make sure you come check us out, hang out with us, man. We have a good time, man. We're a podcast of people that just we just have fun, man. Mm-hmm. We're not, you know what I'm saying, that we don't go loud, yelling, tripping, wanting to be angry. We're just here to talk about games and have a good damn time because we want you to go into your gaming having fun. Also, BGST without crap because for a month. You know what I'm saying? I hope somebody will go ahead and pay that $270 so I can be off for a little while as well. So, you know what I'm saying? A big shout out to Z. You know what I'm saying? That's my boy, regardless if he's a PlayStation dude or whatever.
Man. I got some haters in the BGST chat that'll pay money to have me gone for good, man.
Yeah, well, they said they wanted me gone for good off of BGST, but they got to pay some real money. But somebody brought up the thing about and I'm tripping. They crap was cheap. They paid $100. Somebody said $270 to get me off for a while. So I'm like, well, fuck it. You pay $270, I'll be gone, Jack. I'll sit there and show love in the comment section. Well, but anyway, BGST.
He's selling his game library. He's at
GameStop. Also, you know what I'm saying? Also, the Next Podcast, and sometimes when I can get a chance to multiplayer, as people know, I'm all about that Rachel Maddow, and multiplayer be trying to come on when Rachel Maddow coming on. It's not happening, Jack. When you'll hear me on multiplayer, that's because we before Rachel Maddow.
Snaps is a Rachel Maddow fan now. So.
Yeah. A big shout out to my boy Shaheen from the UK. From Manchester. Well, he said he was close to Manchester. We was playing Tekken 7. He stayed up until 1-2 o'clock while we was out there playing Tekken 7. And you know, man, I love the community, man. I love the community, and I appreciate everybody that shows me love from just everybody, man. Thank you, Jazzy, for the Patreon.
You're gonna love this thing, man. Brian Baker called you out, man. He said all them games not on Xbox. Good job, Mega.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? All those games ain't on that. What are you talking about? Man, look, I'm a universal gamer, man. Xbox is my primary. Okay, look, let's just say in these terms, Xbox is my main chick. PlayStation, PC, they my side chicks. Okay, you know, Nintendo, they my side chicks. That's just what it is. They the side pieces. Xbox is the main, but I love playing with all of them because they all have something different to offer. I'm a gamer first, but Xbox is where it's at for me.
Yo, nice. And huge shout out to Michael Chiricello.
Intro Media Gaming in the house.
Yo, hit up the super chat. Thank you so much, brother, for your support, man. We really, really do appreciate it. And on that note, let's move on down the list. Yo, Dark, man, you are getting some votes today for gameplay. You gotta feel excited right now. Do you think you're gonna take Mega, man? I said it. I said it.
I don't think anybody. Too, yeah. You know, honestly, you know, K Mega always brings it with his gameplay. You know, give him props for that. You know, he's my brother. You know, I can't deny that. You know, every week his gameplay is on fire. So, yeah, I mean, it just depends, man. You know, it just it just depends, man. You know, I mean, I appreciate everybody voting and stuff like that, but yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at Dark Animus. You can also find me on Xbox Live at the same name. You can also check me out every Thursday night on the Quest Podcast at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. You guys can always find me here on Next as well. Always rocking out with my Next family. So
nice, man. Yeah, it is always a pleasure. You know, it is cool to have you and Predator on. You guys, definitely perfect fits for the Next Podcast family, man. And I appreciate it. Every day, every time I talk to you guys, every Saturday that we come together, I am so glad that you and Predator said that you were gonna join us on this panel. It's
I was just happy that you invited me, man. You know, I was just like, oh shit. You know, I was like, finally.
He's like, I was just, it was a pleasure just being nominated.
He's like, week 2, I'm still here.
Well, he did have that issue moving into the igloo for like 2 months or whatever.
Hey.
Anyway.
Hey.
Yeah.
It's hard to build an igloo in Southern California, goddammit.
Got the air conditioning figured out, though, right?
Yep. You finally got it figured out. Yep.
It's all about the airflow. Yo, Don, man, why don't you let people know where they can get a hold of you, dude? Again, you know, coming from a different aspect, being, you know, having your foot in the game development industry, it is really cool to hear your opinions coming from that side of the spectrum. It's always a blast talking gaming news and the future of gaming with you. Why don't you let people know where they can get a hold of you, so possibly they can do that as well?
Yeah, the best way to get a hold of me is follow me on Twitter, which is @thedon_KTR. I am so close to 1,000 followers, so I'm pretty excited about that. I'm almost like 800, so I'm like 200 away. So like, I think that can happen before the end of the year. So, but yeah, that's the best place to follow me if you want to see if I'm twitching or whatever the kids are doing these days.
Twitching. He's always twitching, man.
Got the stinky leg. But anyways. Yeah, just follow me there and you'll know what I'm up to for sure.
Nice. And on that note, guys, I do want to say, you know, when it comes to the end of the outros, nothing but the hardcore Next Podcast fans are here. And guys, I will let you know that our season for special guests is just around the corner. I am talking to people. I am DMing them on Twitter, getting everything settled. Just to let people know, I usually give our special guests about 2 weeks notice about when they're gonna be on, and this special guest season is gonna be a lot of fun. We got a lot of YouTube personalities, we got a lot of personalities within the gaming community and industry, and this is gonna be a blast, guys. So I can't wait. Right around the corner. Yo, follow me on Twitter. It's @xbot448, and you will hear up to date exactly when and where everything is going to be situated. Yo, I haven't even said this to the panel yet, but guys, we are in for a good time the next couple months, man. This is going to be a lot of fun. But like I said before, it is Saturday. People want to get those controllers in their hands, so I am going to say it like I say it every Saturday. We will check you out next Saturday for the Next Podcast. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Wait, how do you vote for me on this?
Yeah, Don's not even in there.
Yeah, man, what is this shit?
Bot's doing bad, but you know what?
You're out, man.
That's right.
Determination to conquer all my ambitions, despite all the conditions. In light of my past decisions, made it to this position, and so my disposition, not seeing no limits, killing the